Howdy, my name is Sharish Pandam. I'm the project manager of the REGS project as well as Lab Hobo.
I'm George Merciaski. I'm the Tower and Aviation team lead.
My name is Amanda Maha. I am the team lead for the SatNog subteam on REGS, and I'm also a part of the GNC subteam on what used to be AggieSat 7 is now AR1.
My name is Philip Matthews. I am on the REGS GOES subteam.
Hi, my name is Nate Seward. I'm a current GOES team lead for the REGS project as well as the TMS lead for AR1 as part of the SCAMPS competition.
It's Thomas Galladay. I am the chief engineer at REGS and the sub-team lead of the payload team on AggieSat 6.
So basically, REGS is a project where we want to give members of the lab hands-on experience with systems engineering and RF engineering. RF engineering is something that most people don't really know, and it's very highly sought after. Even if you have a little bit of experience with that, it's really good. And I thought that was super interesting, and I wanted to give more people in the lab that experience. Basically started this project where we can build and design antennas that get images from satellites and get position data from planes and like air traffic control.
I'm on the Towers and Aviation subteam, which has two systems. One of them is an ADS-B system, tracks planes as they fly by and where they are, what they are, where they're flying. And then the other is an ATC system, meaning that it can listen into airport feeds. You can listen to the tower and the airplane as they land and take off.
The goal of our sub-team is to essentially kind of help update what antennas we have on the RELIS campus. SatNog sub-team is in charge of building antennas that are going to be a part of the SatNog's global network online. We're building a QFH antenna, which is going to receive transmissions from NOAA satellites, and we're also fixing up some Yagi antennas that are going to be used for transmissions from any kind of amateur satellites that work on the bands that we have the Yagis for.
Our main goal is just collecting this weather data and having a large combined drive so that we can just have this reference for the weather for every day. So currently what we're trying to do is get multiple passes in a day and downlink all of that data and put it into one big shared drive so that we can have, I guess, sort of like a community pool of data where people can just come in and look at, okay, this is what the Earth looked like today in terms of the weather.
They do a bunch of hands-on testing. I don't. I just have to make sure that the work gets done and it gets done right.
We're currently in the testing phase. So these last 2 weeks I've just been contributing to writing test procedures. Then we've also been working with some of the other sub-teams because a lot of our testing procedures mix up. We have a lot of the same components that we use.
Chief engineer is kind of like, I feel like in the middle, in my opinion. I'm still management, but I'm more into the actual sub-teams, helping them out.
Most of my job as a sub-team lead is coordinating meetings and making sure all of our paperwork is up to date and making sure that everything is essentially set with our schedule and everything that we have to do with that. So while most of my team looks to me to give them orders for, okay, we need to run this test, we need to build this on this day, my job is to schedule all of that and also assist in any of the tests and any of the hands-on stuff that we have to do.
I was really bored.
I joined AggieSat because I needed to join some kind of aerospace-related organization when I was a freshman. I came in as a freshman hoping to join SRT, the Sounding Rocketry team, but their applications were closed, so I decided to go look for other aerospace organizations that interested me, and then I found out about AggieSat Lab, and I had never thought of satellites before until I found AggieSat Lab, so I said, okay, this looks like something really, really fun. This is different from anything I've ever thought of doing with an aero organization. I had no idea students did satellite stuff. So I joined, and I absolutely love it. I've kind of jumped from project to project throughout my time on AggieSat 7, and each project was slightly different, and they've all been extremely fun.
I think one of the main components was my interest in space and just aerospace in general. But another part of that was just getting to learn about what systems engineering really is.
But I thought, man, I want to do something space, and I remember I was looking through the list of space orgs on campus, and I saw AggieSat. I'm like, cool, I'll apply to AggieSat. And it was the day before applications were due. And I was like, I had never written a resume or anything like that beforehand, so I scrambled to write a resume and fill in the application questions and submitted, and somehow got in.
Joined AggieSat because I like space.
We got the best people. We're currently, we're planning on overthrowing Sharish, our project manager, which makes us better than all the other sub-teams already because they're not doing that, which they should be. Our presentations are the best, mainly because we throw in avatar references, which makes us the best.
I'm gonna say we're the most down to earth, and I mean that kind of as a joke because the others are space and we're planes.
Bruh.
Oh my god. Actually, that's the only way I mean it. That's the only way I mean it. Yeah.
So yeah, and also I think our project's pretty cool, but that's the third reason. Hardworking, late, funny, productive, smart. What's a word for we want to overthrow shirts? Coup. I'll throw a coup in there.
I guess what I would say is build antennas for the world to use, because that's what we do. We connect them to the SatNogs network, which is for everyone on Earth to use.
Avatar, because we like Avatar. We're also very determined because we do want to get this project done. And I think we're resilient because I'm pretty sure if we have issues with our project, we're going to figure out a way to get by it. Did I say smart already? Smart. We're all really smart. Otherwise, this wouldn't work.
Look, a plane. I'll listen.
Okay, let me think. There's a couple.
The first time we went and took a picture with the antenna, it was duct taped to the trash can, and every probably 30 seconds, it was just, shoot, we're losing it, and then readjusting the trash can.
Any moment that I've had being around either Sharish, the program manager for REGS, or the former chief engineer, Ram. Last semester there was just a lot of chaos in the lab, but it was definitely fun. It kept us motivated to keep grinding throughout the night, especially in weekdays like this when it's a late night and we got to keep working.
There have been quite a few funny memories, but the one that first comes to mind is when a couple of it was REGS members. I got to see the REGS members do it, but someone brought in a one-chip challenge, an extremely spicy single tortilla chip, and it was one of our last meetings from a semester where we were about to go on Christmas break, and so we were going to just have fun in that meeting, and someone brought in the one-chip challenge, and I watched a couple of my friends do the one-chip challenge, and were just crying from how spicy that one chip was. One of our members ate half of the chip and then left because he did not feel good after eating half the chip. So that is probably the most golden memory that stands out in my mind. That is going to be there for the rest of my life. It was a great time.
I have been threatened by Sharish.
All the food crimes that June on AggieSat 6 has made. At Starbucks, he got a cup of water and he put whipped cream on top because both of them are free. It's a food crime.
So I would say definitely don't be afraid to talk to people and don't be afraid to reach out for help if needed. Everybody in the lab is really open to helping. And like I said, there's just a great pool of knowledge to go around. And I think that's one of the biggest advantages that I've gotten out of being an AggieSat.
You should join it. I didn't join to be on TAA. I didn't join the lab to be on REGS, but I've stuck on REGS and I've stuck on TAA because it's great experience. It's a great experience. I'm loving doing it. So
if you're an incoming member to AggieSat, I would say first off, get to know your sub-team members and your team leads really well. They're going to become some of your best friends throughout your time here because you're going to work together so closely on very complicated stuff, and it's always best if you have a really good bond with each other because that way communication flows more freely if you're very comfortable with your friends. And also I'd say stick with it, even if sometimes you may be tempted to leave because we end up in a slower period or we end up in a period where we are just waiting on permission from organizations. We're waiting on hearing back from things that we've sent in. And so it sometimes gets a little slow, but stay with it because it will pick back up eventually and you'll get to do some incredible hands-on stuff.
Incoming members, we love members who are just enthusiastic about space. I was a freshman when I joined and I had no experience at all in engineering. I had done CAD in high school, but you're gonna catch me dead before I touch SolidWorks again, unless I'm required to for class. All I was told my interviewer, Aiden O'Leary, who was the program manager before Alexander, was that I just really like space, and we talked a lot about space itself. Just show that you're enthusiastic, and if you have experience, that's a great bonus, especially if you're a freshman or sophomore and you have really good experience. We love that sort of stuff.
Just put yourself out there. Don't just stay indoors and don't do anything. Have a life, I guess. I don't know what I am.
I wasn't talking about anything important, just what REGS is and all that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. It's gonna be scary, but all right.
Oh, you're fine.
You're okay.
We go to Popeyes, they're out of chicken. Of course.
I'm gonna first ask you about like lead stuff.
Okay.
Of course, both come at the same time.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.